What's up, gamers? Welcome to the show where I keep you guys updated on the latest in gaming news. But before we get into today's gaming news, let's take a look at today's clip of the day.
Clip of the day.
Zone B lost. Heavy ammo inbound.
Man, I love a good Nova Bomb. Anyway, guys, that was today's clip of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but now let's get into our first piece of gaming news for the day, and it's about PlayStation. Because if you were anything like I was yesterday, that being pissed off, like I mean majorly pissed off that you couldn't play any video games for most of the day, then you probably know what I'm talking about. Because yesterday, the PlayStation Network was down for over 10 hours, and this meant that pretty much everyone around the world couldn't get online to play any games at all. Which really, if you think about it, is almost the equivalent of the world coming to an end. But even though the servers were down for so long yesterday, Sony still hasn't given an official word on why it occurred. Probably because it was a major DDoS attack by some hacking group, and they don't really want to publicize that they were victims of such an attack. And usually, by now, one of the hacking groups out there would have claimed the attacks, but no one said anything about it at all. Pretty much the only thing we have at the moment is this GIF, which is taken from the Norse Corp attack map, which is a website that tracks real-time cyber attacks, and we can see that a whole lot of traffic was coming from China directed at the United States during the time of the attacks yesterday. So that could have possibly had something to do with PSN going down for almost half a day. Anyway, I'm sure Lizard Squad or some other group will come out and claim the attacks sooner or later, but one good thing that came out of the attacks is that PlayStation today announced that PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, and video rentals on PlayStation will all be receiving an extension to their services due to the outage, which is pretty good news and means that we at least get something for not being able to play any games yesterday. They haven't given any details about what the extensions actually entail, but if we use the attacks that happened around Christmas back in 2014 that resulted in PSN being down for almost a week as a reference, PlayStation extended all their subscriptions for 5 days. But this time, PSN was only down for 10 hours, so it's kinda hard to tell how long they're going to extend everything this time. But I'm sure we're gonna hear what they've got planned pretty soon. So yeah, if we hear any more information about who DDoSed the PSN servers yesterday, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. Anyway, staying with all things PlayStation in the first half of today's show, our next news report is about, well, PlayStation, and more specifically PlayStation Now, because Sony's added a whole bunch of PlayStation 3 exclusives to the list of games available on PlayStation Now. To be more specific, they've added over 40 titles to the service. Now, I can't fit the entire list on the screen because there's literally too many titles, but the games include a whole lot from the Uncharted series to Infamous 1 and 2, Killzone 2 and 3, the God of War series, and a whole bunch of other games as well. As I said, there's just too many to list on screen, but if you want to check out the full list of games that have been added, the full list will be down in the description below. But anyway, moving on to our next report for today, and it's that Rise of the Tomb Raider finally has an exact release date for the PC, and it's going to be coming out on the 28th of January. The game's going to have full support for Windows 10 as well as 4K resolutions, and there's going to be 3 different editions of the game, including the Collector's Edition, which will include a steelbook case for the game, the Season Pass, as well as a whole bunch of collectibles, including a replica of the in-game journal, a jade necklace, and a 12-inch statue of Lara Croft, which is really bloody cool if you're into collecting these sort of things. So yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider on PC coming out on the 28th of January, and now to our final gaming news piece for today's episode, and it's all about the Oculus Rift, because pre-orders for the VR headset are starting, well, tomorrow. The announcement was made today, with pre-orders starting on Wednesday the 7th of January at 8 AM Pacific time in the US, which makes it about 3 AM Sydney time for everyone on the East Coast here in Australia. We still don't know the price for the headset or the actual release date, as it hasn't actually been announced yet, but if you were someone out there who helped kickstart the Oculus Rift and you received a dev kit from Oculus, then you'll be receiving the consumer version of the headset completely free, which is a pretty cool thing Oculus Oculus is doing for those who helped support the Oculus in its early days. So if you're looking at being one of the first to get your hands on the Oculus Rift, then you'll be able to pre-order it as soon as tomorrow. Hopefully, the price and release date is announced when pre-orders go live. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of games meant to be showcased at the Consumer Electronics Show this week, so if you're wondering what games are actually going to be playable with all these virtual reality headsets going around, I'll have a video going over all the best and cool games coming to VR. So be on the lookout for that video over the next week or so, and that's pretty much going to be it for today's gaming news. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you on Friday's video. Sony's been extremely quiet about their virtual reality headset. In fact, they've been so quiet that I actually completely forgot it was even coming out this year. But that's most likely about to change extremely soon, because although Sony hasn't made any announcements about